You know, it all started with this booming voice over the water, some federal marshal barking out rights like he was calling a storm warning. And there she was, Victoria Langford, handcuffed on her fancy yacht, screaming about her freedoms while Coast Guard boats hemmed her in like sharks on a seal. But rewind just a few hours, and she's strutting onto my dock like she owns the ocean, waving these ancient-looking papers from way back in the 1800s, demanding a hand over my whole island to her so-called homeowners association. Man, if you told me 3 weeks ago that buying Eagle Point Island off the Maine coast would turn into this wild ride, I'd have laughed it off as some bad dream, but here I am, Jake Harlan, at 40, spilling the beans because, honestly, this mess could happen to anyone who thinks they've found their slice of peace. See, I didn't just stumble into owning this place. After a dozen years in Coast Guard intel, sniffing out smuggling rings up and down the Atlantic, I put away a bunch of bad guys testified against this syndicate using these remote islands as pit stops for their dirty cargo. In return, the feds hooked me up through their asset program, letting me pick from seized properties and Eagle Point. It called to me 12 acres of jagged cliffs, thick spruce woods, a 3,800 square foot keeper's house from the old lighthouse days, tricked out in the 90s with all the modern fixes. There was even a short airstrip for my little Piper Cub, a sturdy dock that could take a 50-footer, and these hidden fuel tanks from World War II. They'd Revive Plus solar setups, wind gens, and a water purifier that meant I could go off-grid forever if I wanted. The old owners, those smugglers, had poured millions into it, turning it into this fortress hideaway, complete with secret paths and a boathouse stocked like a marine shop. I spent my first couple days wandering, finding old bunkers from bootlegger times, feeling like I'd hit the jackpot quiet, private, the kind of spot where you could breathe deep and forget the world's noise. But on day 3, I'm up on the lighthouse balcony, tinkering with a new radar setup, when I hear this buzz-unannounced seaplane slicing the air, no flight plan ping on my app, no radio hail. Through the binocs, I spot this sleek beaver on floats, taxiing right up and trailing it, a convoy, her gleaming 60-foot azimuth yacht flanked by a couple of speedy ribs, all closing in like they were invited. Out steps Victoria, this polished 50-something with hair pulled back like it owed her money, in heels that screamed, "I'm not here to fish," cream suit over slacks, entourage in tow 4 goons in matching jackets with some bogus crest, a photographer snapping away like it's a crime scene, and this guy in a deputy uniform that looked rented from a costume shop. They march up my path, Victoria pointing at my buildings like she's appraising for auction, ignoring me at first, then finally turning with this fake smile that could curdle milk. "You must be the newcomer," she says, making it sound like I'd tracked mud on her carpet. "I'm Victoria Langford, head of the Bayview Estates Association, and we've got some serious issues to sort right now." She flips open this leather binder, pulls out these yellowed pages with seals and scrawls, and launches into her spiel. Per the original coastal covenant from 1888, all outlying islands within 4 miles fall under our oversight, transferred legally in 2003. You're on the hook for $45,000 in arrears from the prior owners, plus $4,500 monthly for upkeep docks, airstrip. All of it needs our stamp or fines kick in. The docs looked legit at a glance, but my intel days screamed forgery of phrasing was too slick for the era. Seals flat printed, references to buoys that weren't around till the 30s. And get this, she slips in commercial ops, like she knows something hinting at the island's shady past, which nobody should have known. Behind her, the fake deputy shifts, avoiding my eyes, while the photographer circles, zooming on my plane like it's evidence. "We'll inspect everything for codes, eco-impacts," she adds, voice dripping honey over steel, "or if it's too much hassle, we'll buy you out cash, quick close, no fuss." There was the real play-not fees, but forcing me off to grab the land for whatever scheme she had brewing, maybe flipping to developers or worse. tying back to those old smugglers she seemed too cozy with. I kept cool, crossed my arms still gripping my wrench from the install, and said, "Ma'am, I'll run this by my lawyer. Mind if I snap pics for records?" Click, click, I got faces, badges, boat regs. Her mask slipped a bit, eyes narrowing. "Mr. Harlan, you don't get how this works. We're not requesting, we're enforcing. Resist and things get complicated." The threat hung there, raw, her crew fanning out like backup dancers in a bad thriller. One goon mutters, "Better pay up, buddy," but I just stared back, heart pounding but steady. Years facing real crooks taught me that. As they piled back on their boats, she tossed over her shoulder, "That radar? Unapproved. $800 fine due now. Pre-printed ticket. My name already on it." He'd planned to shake down from the jump. Watching them peel away, yacht circling once more with that lens pointed, I felt this mix of rage and resolve bubbling up. This wasn't just about my island, it was personal now, her entitlement clashing with my hard-won sanctuary. That night, unpacking in the keeper's house, I dug deeper, called my old boss, Commander Ellis Reed, in code, "Birds are nesting funny, aggressive flock today." He got it quick, log patterns, we're watching. Then my attorney pal, Elena Vasquez, who chuckled at the covenant, "Pics, pure fiction's in more. I'll pull real deeds." My kid, Mia, 15, buzz and excited, "Dad, island life? Can I bring friends for bonfires?" I smiled through the worry, vowing to beef up security before she visited. Couldn't sleep, so I poked around a tower, found a stash in a panel. Cash, passports, a pistol, and a ledger logging night visits. Victoria's yacht showing up 15 times, always 2 hours, syncing with old smuggling reports. Boom, motive clear. She wasn't some HOA tyrant. She was neck deep in the ring, using her association to shield ops, and now panicked, I'd uncover her dirt, desperate to reclaim the spot for hidden caches or whatever. Harassment ramped up fast next dawn, calls flooded, fuel leak violation, wetland breach, 6 by breakfast, each from a committee. Fake inspector shows mid-morning, clipboard in hand. I meet him with Elena on speaker. Credentials? Warrant. He stammers. HOA rights, but bolts when pressed. Afternoon. Boats orbiting, blaring tunes, waves slamming my dock, shouts of "Violator spotted." Childish, but it wore on you feeling, eyes everywhere. I logged it all via hidden cams the feds had disguised as weather gear, uploading real time. Day 4, woke to graffiti, "Surrender or suffer." Tires slashed on my plane, sugar in the tanks. Cams caught the fake deputy and 2 thugs, one with a telltale scar from ledger pics. Called Reed, birds attacking gear. Hold 48, we're close. I played along, yelling into my phone about contractors, baiting her. Sure enough, cease and desist arrives, bogus as ever. But she went nuclear on day 5, dawn roar of engines, 12 boats storming in, her yacht leading, barges towing dozers like a demolition derby. 30 hired guns in tactical vests marked enforcement, unloading heavy iron aimed at my shed's house strip. Victoria megaphones. "Jake Harlan, we're reclaiming for violations, safety hazards." Blades drop. First dozer shreds my gear, shed $150K in tech gone and splinters, then rams the house. Kitchen crumpling, my stuff flying. They hammer runway lights, douse my plane in gas. Victoria snarls, "Torch this smuggler's relic." Her eyes wild, hunting basement files, desperate to burn proof of her ties. I broadcast live to feds, hit the beacon, federal asset under siege, 30 hostiles, destroying evidence. Heart racing, I yell, "This is felony trespass, impersonation, terrorism." A young fake cop hesitates. "Ma'am, this feels off," but she snaps, "Do it or you're out." Her power trip cracking as desperation peaked. Then a choppers. That sweet thrum building, 3 Black Hawks cresting the horizon. Doors open. Gunners ready. Loudspeaker booms. U.S. Coast Guard freeze or face force. Ropes drop. TAC teams zip down like pros 24 in seconds. Rifles up, fanning out. Fakes drop gear. Hands high. We're actors hired for a gig. Dozers stall. Drivers bail pale-faced. Victoria, flare gun at the docks pile, shrieks, "This is my jurisdiction." A precision shot knocks it away. She's cuffed, raging. "You trapped Muho, are you?" Commander Reed lands, announces loud, "Agent Harlan, mission success 3 years, chasing this ring." Her face crumples. Federal? It was a setup. Yacht searched. Phone dumps text to her partner Harlan. Wait. No relation plotting. Clean the cash before he finds a haul. Dug it up. $10 mill cash. 50 kilos products coordinated the whole smuggling web. Using HOA facade to steal spots for laundering. Her greed and control freakery fueling years of terror on folks like me. Cleanup took days. Navy rebuilt tougher. Armored house. Extended strip. Fortified dock. Victoria got 40 years on RICO. Terror. Drugs her empire seized. Hubby 25. Restitution to 15 families she'd bullied out. My island's now a Coast Guard outpost. Mia's inspired. Joining the academy, says, it showed her standing up takes guts. Tourist boat by. I set a mini exhibit on the bust. Even passed the Eagle Point law, mandating HOA audits coastwide. But here's the thing that lingers: was she pure evil or just a product of unchecked power in these tight-knit communities? Makes you wonder if real HOAs skirt that line too often. Hey, drop a comment where you're watching from. Ever dealt with HOA drama that felt shady? Who's right in these power plays? The little guy or the authorities? Share your take. Love hearing your stories that might save someone else's haven.